This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Let's go over to the Matthew Lee Richards story. This story, absolutely heartbreaking. The youth pastor, the father of 5, the husband that on the surface, from what we could tell, as it often is, things looked fine. Things looked like things were going okay, and as his family thought as well, until he went around and stabbed every single one of them. Amazingly, as of this moment, I haven't checked the news this morning yet, but they're all alive. This, to me, is the example of a family annihilator. I could be wrong. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that. But it is also somewhat of an example of how financial stress to such an extreme and the wrong mind chemistry can make somebody do something like this. It's almost what everybody said with Alec Murdaugh of, how could a father do something like this? Well, here's one who did, and we know the motive.
Well, if you look at the example of an anomic family annihilator, this fits the bill. It's somebody that really has prided themselves out of providing for their family, of creating, very successful family environment, if you will, at least ostensibly. And then when everything starts to fall apart, there's no more money, losing their home, losing everything that he stood for that made him look good, that, was important to him. Well, if that's going to fall apart for me, it's going to fall apart for my whole family, and I'm going to annihilate it completely. And that's exactly, I think you're right. This is him. This is why. And typically the anomic annihilators are people who, don't look like they could harm a fly, because the trigger for them is losing everything that they've built.
Losing everything that he built. That news didn't come to him, just overnight and suddenly everything is gone. He knew the situation that they were in, the financial dire straits they were in, according to him and his attorney, that the family was about to be evicted that day, and nobody even knew it other than him before he went and did all the stabbing. Is this something that an individual had planned? Did he sit there, for weeks, months, days, knowing that when it comes down to it, unless there's some sort of miracle, I'm taking everybody out? Or would this be something more of a, oh shit, it's happening today, he just lost it?
No, it's a planned. And you think about it and you come to a point of just exhaustion and I'm done. And then the plan goes into place, burning down the house in this case, committing the stabbings. I mean, he was chasing his children around, Tony, according to neighbors. Yeah. It's just something. So I won't say very well planned out, but certainly planned.
Yeah. And that's, it's just, I mean, for all of us who don't think that way, it is utterly shocking to try and understand how one could go from being loving dad to this in a heartbeat. Is this something where, the narcissism was so strong that his family never really did know who he was because he was hiding under some sort of facade for all those years and never expressing or communicating who he is or what's going on with their family until it all just blew up?
Well, I think that and putting on blinders, right? You see this person every day and you don't see any huge signs that they could possibly be capable of murdering your children or murdering you. And you just go about your daily life and you overlook many of the signals that I'm sure were there. Moments of anger, moments that something that would be very minor for him would be a blow up. Things like that it becomes normal.
What I had, my mind just went blank. I had one other. Oh, here we go. Last one on this. What do you think it says about the fact that no one died in this? Is this something where, it's almost a really sick cry for help, but we see it sometimes when people attempt suicide and fail, and then it's almost intentionally failed. Is that what we're seeing here, or is this just another one of his failures where this is what he wanted to do and he couldn't even get that part right?
I'm going to have to go with B.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get that part right. I mean, anytime you commit arson, which you think is going to, make your house burn down, anytime you go after your children and your wife, people who are much less statutorial or statute-wise, stature-wise. Oh my gosh, Tony, I'm struggling. Let me say it again. Anytime you go after somebody that is much lesser stature-wise, that is diminutive, that is young, that is frail, and you go after them as a grown man with a knife, you think you're going to be successful. But he wasn't. And I think it's just another failure, not that he didn't want to succeed at it.
Yeah, a sick thing to be failing at, but thank God he did.
Yes. Thank goodness that family, it will have a long way to go, all those individuals, but they lived, and, hopefully they can grow past this. It's just horrible.
You're consuming the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts, and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member, exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast, dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.